Why is this river so important, you ask? Because it's close to where I grew up, and because it amazes me how much it has changed over the years. In high school, we often got days off in the summer months because it stunk so bad. And now I'm standing right here exploring wildlife that was once believed to be completely gone.
The Wupper, a river in my home country of Germany. The Wupper has been the lifeblood for this region for thousands of years, but it has been used and abused by those who live around it. The Münchner Brücke, built in 1897, and the famous Wuppertaler Schwebebahn, a suspension railway, show the economic significance this region had during that time. Of course, this came at a cost to the natural environment around it. Burg Castle. This middle-aged castle is a popular tourist destination and a wedding location where I actually got married. The Wupper is 70 miles long, and here at the headwater it looks like a little brook in an enchanted forest. It is actually not even called Wupper yet, but Wipper, which translates into bobbing, and that's exactly what it does. It peacefully bobs along. A little further down the river, this male kingfisher is looking for a female. He offers her a fish as a gift to impress her, and judging by her healthy appetite, I think it worked. And where there are mating kingfisher couples, there are certainly also breeding burrows. Of course, I'm always keeping my distance in order not to disturb them. I can hear the chicks calling, so I must be in the right place. They're just too cute, and the parents are always busy supplying fresh fish. As the long summer days slowly come to an end, other forest inhabitants are busy looking for food along the edge of the river, or they're just lazily resting in the shade. Not everybody is as curious as this fox. Wild boars obviously like to be close. Ooh, I'm smelling something very foul. It looks like an alien creature, but it is a so-called octopus stinkhorn. I can certainly see and smell why it is called that. Another rare sight, a badger. They are part of the same family as weasels and otters. There's a wintry chill in the air. The river is still free of ice, but not for long. These barbels need to start looking for a place that will offer them protection throughout the winter. This catfish was surprised by our lights. The burbot could care less. A first heavy snowfall always comes as a surprise to everybody. For many of the forest inhabitants, winter is a tough time. The Wupper, now dressed in all white, shows off her bare and vulnerable side. I get such a kick out of these foxes hunting for food underneath a thick layer of snow. They're so incredibly crafty. Uh-oh, trouble with the neighbors. Thankfully, nobody got seriously hurt, and the winner takes all. The days are getting colder now, and Jack Frost is reaching for the river. On the surface, the trees are heavy with ice. Underwater, the river is still flowing vigorously. Even the heron is feeling the cold. I think he's eyeing a fish. But with all this commotion, the gray heron never had a chance. This buzzard had more luck and is digging in. Bottom ice. This is quite a surprise, because it hasn't been seen in the Wupper in decades. Just beautiful. This raccoon is a rare sight. They live in the forests around the Wupper and typically move under the cover of darkness. But this little guy is just having too much fun in the snow. I can't believe he is sticking around. These are great shots. Of course, raccoons did not always live in this region. They were released by a chicken breeder at the Edersee in 1934 and have since made a home here. These little masked rascals from America are obviously quite comfortable. They feed on just about anything, but a nice juicy fish is at the top of their menu. Winter has come to an end, and the water is free of ice again. As spring awakens and the temperatures are getting milder, the fox cubs are allowed to spend more time outside their den, always within the parents' reach. Is there anything cuter? A view from above. To the untrained eye, it might as well be the Amazon River. Most areas along the Wupper are tree-lined and still kept in their natural state. Even below the water surface, the Wupper is now teeming with new life. This pike is a formidable predator. And this catfish is quite curious, giving me the once-over. The Wupper is an incredible habitat for all kinds of waterfowl. This Eurasian coot is collecting more material to reinforce its nest. They often build their nests in the water on top of sticks or roots that protrude close to the surface. Did he bring her the right gift? It seems she's not quite sure yet. The Eurasian coot chicks are only 3 to 4 days old and already brave enough to wander off by themselves. That is, until they get hungry. Both parents are equally as involved in caring for their young. Despite their early independence, the chicks will stay with their parents for another 8 weeks. It seems that the great crested grebe female has finally agreed to a date, and then a rival swoops in and tries to impress her. Didn't work though, and they begin with their elaborate mating display. What an impressive sight. They actually mate on top of their floating nests in the water. It is only loosely anchored. Ouch! Not exactly what you read about in romance novels. The meadows that line parts of the Wupper shoreline are a feeding paradise for gray herons. The colonies have steadily increased in numbers over the years because of a great habitat with plenty of food. Obviously. A little further down the river, we can now use kayaks to explore. Now this takes me a bit by surprise. These Akoipus are also called river rats, and they're originally from South America. They were brought to Europe by fur farmers in the 1930s, where they escaped and they have now made a permanent home here. As cute as they are, they're considered to be pests because of their destructive nature to the ecosystem. The river that was once almost destroyed by industry and pollution has made a full comeback. I have found a school of common roaches. Incredible how much it looks like the Amazon River here. I wonder what that was. An eagle owl, and it has offspring, 2 little chicks that look like fluff balls. And of course they're always hungry, so the nocturnal owl parents are forced to hunt for food during the day. Wow, what a rare sight! The happy chicks are digging in. Typical for this region of Germany are the famed Tudor-style houses. The Wupper cotton was built in 1605. It is a tool grindery and still in use today. Powered by a water wheel located between the 2 buildings, the grindery ingeniously uses the fast-flowing river to power the tools, used for sharpening knives, scissors, and manicure equipment. It is the last of its kind and also a museum that I like to visit at times. As the night falls, something very curious is happening in the meadows along this part of the Wupper. The weir in the river presents these eels with a barrier they cannot cross. As long as the animals find a moist, grassy shoreline, they can just crawl around the weir on land and return back to the water once they have passed it. As soon as the day breaks, the eels better be back in the water. Otherwise, they become breakfast for the gray heron. The weirs in the Wupper pose difficulty for several of the migratory fish species that have now returned back to the river to spawn. The sea trout thankfully found the habitat below the weir to be a great spawning ground. The Wupper, a river that is now again a habitat for many animals and a local recreational area. I have personally rediscovered this river and have truly fallen in love with it.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Check out the other films as well, and remember, always keep your fins wet.